Hey everybody, Riot Mort here, and back with another pre-recorded PBE video of Cyber City. And this game is one I'm particularly proud of. This is a fun game, so I'm excited for you to watch this one and talk through my thoughts. But it shows off some cool moves, some things that are possible, so should be fun. And we start off with a pretty basic encounter, Vi. I love that Vi is back, and it's the same encounter with same Vi. I don't know. There's something that makes me smile about that. But, yeah. Inside of our orb, nothing special here. So, yeah. Alright, got a rod. We have a pair of Poppy. And again, it's late, by the way. It's, first day of PBE, but it's late. But also, I'm just coming off the weekend of, like, casting for... Not casting, but, like, co-streaming for 3 days straight. It's like I feel like I'm just doing that. I feel like that's become my life for a little bit here. But yeah, this set's pretty fun here. Been having fun with it. We find a LeBlanc. LeBlanc I think is a pretty good carry early if you can get some casting. The way she works is every time she casts, her spell gets bigger. She's one of those ramping style champions we've done before. So it's always nice. And Strategist is pretty flexible. You can do some good things. That being said, we find a Veigar here. We could play around Cyberboss, we could play around Veigar. We've got Techie here, so some good options. We don't want to pop the items yet. Let's see what our Augment is. But otherwise, holding pairs, doing things. So now, interestingly enough, there is a hacked minion. You can get a hacked one this early, and you get the health, which is hilarious. So this is going to be a game where everyone just has 10 extra health. Okay. Thankfully, that's the most crazy it can get, but yeah, that one can show up early. So, Golden Oxcrest, if you can get this one early, I do like playing Golden Oxcrest here. But that being said, we also get Chug Bug, the 3-cost hero augment, and I consider this A, because I need to test it, but B, because we have an Archangel already, and we have the Vi Anvils, so we can get this pretty well equipped pretty early. So we're gonna go ahead and throw it in here. And this one's interesting in that it gives Gragas this very weird, passive ability, where, there's a chance for his auto to, knock back his target, and then his spell will do some big damage and can AoE also if it overkills. After playing it, I will say the Augment might need a little bit of adjustment, tiny bit. Like, for example, if you overkill a target by itself, it's weird that, none of that damage splashes or anything. So there might be some light adjustments, but overall, it's still a fun experience. I'm not going to say it's, weak or strong yet or anything, but, definitely fun. There's just some weird niche moments that could feel a little better from what I've seen. But either way, we get Archangel BT right away. Now, it's not a very tanky Gragas, but you can see here, passives have a 35% chance to attack and deal bonus magic damage. And then the active is heal and empower the next attack to do bonus damage. So you still get the heal. It's definitely smaller than it was before, but it's still a heal. Now, that being said, by the way, I have 110 health and I find a Galio. Now, if you guys watch my stream or my videos at all, I want you to prepare for 4 months of any time I get an early Galio or Draven to go, it might be a Cipher game, because that's how I feel about the trait. And frankly, it kind of is. But yeah, you can get a good look at the tooltip here, and you notice the knockback chance actually goes up as you scale up as well. Now, the one hard thing about playing this augment is that Gragas will be pretty contested. Gragas is going to be the most common second bruiser to get that 2 bruiser bonus. Not to mention he's Divinicorp, which gives your team extra health. But yeah, you can see here, bonk. And there you see the belly hit. So, it's a fun augment here. Now again, could I sell Galio and hit 10 gold here? Sure, but I have 110 health. And Cipher is the kind of trait that you don't have to be, too wanting it. And sure enough, we do hit it early. And so I'm going to activate 3 Cipher. I'm going to be like, you know what? I'm going to take some extra resources. And like I said, me personally, any game I can play Cipher, I'm going to play it. That might be a sign it's too strong. I'm not going to lie and say it might not be too strong, but it's also just because, I freaking love the high-risk traits. So Now, it's also PBE, by the way, and with PBE, we always have the risk of there being AFK players or people basically not playing a real board. So trying to go super deep loss streak Cipher, probably not going to be a thing. But what I'm considering right now is that Cipher, one of the ways you can play Cipher and stay in it is reroll Galio and Draven. And since those are 3 costs, I can also reroll Gragas. Not necessarily a pair that like works great together, but the fact I'll be rerolling 3 costs, maybe get some big rewards. And we do lose that fight, so that's 17 intel. And the way Cipher works is losing is good. Losing consecutively will be even better, but not by a ton. Though those streaks can really add up. And then losing, you know, by killing units, you're getting extra as well. But the sooner you can hit 4 Cipher, the better. That being said, I do get a tier here, which will allow me to build a Shiv to give some shred for my Gragas. So, and yeah, looking at the health right now, it's interesting. So, looks like there might be 1 or 2 AFK players, but we throw in that, puts us at 19 gold here. So, cool. All right. And yeah, sure enough, this is an example of an opponent that's just not looking too strong here. We're gonna win, but again, with Cipher, if you're not going for like an insane cash out, it's not really that bad. What I like to do personally here is play Cipher early, get a little bit of intel, and then when I start hitting 4 and 5, that's when I start pulling the big loss streaks here. So again, for those of you that used to play Heartsteel back in the day, it can be very reminiscent of that. We find a Mordekaiser, which is fine. And one of the things, by the way, when I'm playing this game is I'm actually trying to figure out, like, do I want to go deep Bruiser with Chug Jug? Do I want to go deep Divinicorp with Chug Jug? You know, trying to kind of figure that out right now. And you can see that's why I buy the Morgana, holding on to that Divinicorp. But for now, we're not really trying to win too much. Just some light health preservation, keep our econ up. And this opponent looks pretty strong here. Veigar 2 with items slammed, Mundo. So we imagine we lose this fight, which will give us some more intel. Now it is sad we went loss, win, loss. Had we gone loss, 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 that would have been some extra intel for the streak. But again, doesn't matter too much. I'm not too worried about it right now. That being said, we did go chug the Veigar. So they're out of damage. There's a possibility we win this with Archangel's ramping. And, ooh, big damage. Okay, never mind. The fact that we got on the Veigar early was really good for us. And seeing the power of the Chug Bug. Okay. So, again, at least get a little intel from the kills. No big deal. We find a Rost. That's another Divinicorp. So if we want to go that angle, we can. Okay. And again, this is why I like Cipher, is you can play it however you want for now. But mostly, like I said, right now we're looking at trying to re-roll it to really test the full limits of it and figure out how we want to go from there. We do find a Fiddle and a Jarvan, which isn't anything in particular. But we can also, if I'd been faster, I could have hit 40 there, but I wasn't. Oh well. Item-wise, trying to figure out what we want. If we're going to go Bruisers later, Redemption can be very powerful. Now, the bad thing about building Redemption here is I'm basically saying I don't have any real offense other than my Chug Jug. But I'm going to go ahead and slam it here. And again, right now, my plan is to mostly preserve health until I can find 4 and 5 Cipher when that intel goes up. And by the way, the intel earned does also go up per stage, just a little bit. So, like I said, totally valid here. Like, there's two really ways to play it. You can go full loss streak and try to get a big streak, or you can go losses once you hit 5 Cipher and try to trade health for good resources. So both of those can work here. We go up against a big Silas here. I can't imagine we can kill the Silas. Seraphine doing big damage here. And that's going to move us up to 56 intel. All right, augment time. Epoch, big grab bag, salvage bin. It's probably Epoch, just to allow us to level up quickly. You can see we're going to level up here, try to roll for that Draven. If we get lucky, you could find a Zed, would be nice. We do find a Gragas at least. But we hit the LeBlanc. We don't want to roll too much deeper, though. In fact, we're kind of already there. We throw this in for 2 Divinicorp. That's going to give us more armor and MR. We're pretty strong now. If we could find the Gragas too, that'd be nice. And you can see I'm starting to lean towards the Bruiser route here. I've got the Alistar and the Darius. But overall, not a great hit here. We didn't find a Draven. We didn't find a Zed, so a little sad about that. Going up against a Nitro player who hasn't really hit too early. So this fight should be able to go our way as long as Gragas doesn't get bursted down. Gragas actually wraps and kills the Elise. Get chugged. So, gonna be another win here. And again, as you can see, like, there's nothing wrong with winning with Cipher. You're not getting a ton of intel, but you are preserving health, and it's still some. So. Ooh, so for all that Cipher, I could get 3 gold. Probably not taking that one. That being said, we get 2 more Bruiser pairs here. Hitting the Mordekaiser too. You know, Mordekaiser 2, very good early. Mordekaiser is a very strong champion. So right now what I'm actually thinking is like, man, I'm pretty darn strong. I probably just want to keep win streaking until I can find the Zed and the Draven. As well as I just try to get my econ up because I do need to get more Gragases. We go up against a level 5 player, though that is a big Mundo. And it's a Ginsu's Jink. I think the challenge here will be we aren't going to be able to get through the Mundo to ever get to the Jinx. It's only a Jinx 1, but still kind of struggling to see how I get through the Mundo. You can see they do slam an item here. We're trying. Now, LeBlanc does ramp a little bit, so it's not the worst thing. And you can see now we're on the Mundo. We've got ramped LeBlanc and ramped Archangels. They just didn't have enough damage. And sure enough, LeBlanc. Okay, not bad. Any Dravens or Zeds? Nope. Nope. Sag. Item-wise, we'd still love a 3rd item for our Gragas. Honestly, here, just taking the Gragas might be correct. Just because it would give us Gragas 2. Oh, sad. We can't. Instead, we're going to go with a Mordekaiser with another Rod, which I don't think we're putting a death cap on anything. So it does mean we'll be kind of stuck with a Rod for a little bit. And yeah, you can see one player has already FF'd, which is kind of good for us that they're out of the lobby at least. So. Otherwise, yeah, we're at 78 intel, which is not a lot. Not a lot. But that's the thing, it hasn't really cost us much health, and it is still some resources that we can keep building towards. Not hitting the Gragas 2 here, definitely keeping us kind of weak. We go up against a Kog'Maw 2 TF1. This board doesn't look too strong, but it does have the augment that scares me. If you watch this fight, you're going to see the little rockets, and then that big one. That big rocket from this augment. This thing is pretty wild. And it can sometimes just like, boom, like you can see it just took out the Ross there. Thankfully it wasn't that strong because it's only a Kog'Maw 2. But man, that thing can get going sometimes in the late game. So, yeah. A LeBlanc, not that I need it. Again, a little sad I haven't hit a Draven or a Zed, but it's not a big deal. Still have 97 health to work with. Someone else in the lobby still full win streaking, though. So that is always concerning. We checked their board, and it's the Anima Squad player. Just playing off Anima Squad, has good Anima Squad augments. So they've been able to make that work so far. Speaking of which, well, we fight their ghosts. And you can get a look at their board here. They've been Pandorazing to give their Seraphine good items, as well as their Silas good items. 5 Anima Squad, you also get the bonus effects. And it looks like ghost boards, they might not... Well, it looks like it was kind of working. So... And there's the tower from the Augment. So it looks like it's working, and in fact, it's working enough that I think we're going to lose this fight. So, yep. Well, again, at least it's some intel. Bumps out to 114 here. 3-7 is the second time where you could get a cash out here, and we're going to get 8 gold. Yeah. That's not really what we're looking for yet. We do have 5 Mordekaisers. So if we're talking about re-rolling, that's good. Somebody's pinging their Aurora. Okay, cool. Congrats on the high roll. And at this point, I'm considering, you know, probably going to get out of Divinicorp here because we level up, put in 4 Bruiser, makes the Bruiser stronger. But also, again, looking for Zed and Draven would be nice. But at the very least, we need Gragas too, like next turn. Don't really need Spark because we built Shiv. Jeweled Gauntlet for a 3rd Gragas item could be good here. Get the crit. That also could give us our anti-heal here. We find the Alistar, level up, use our Epoch rolls. And like I said, we're probably going to have to go until we find Gragas 2. We do need Gragas 2. We find the Draven at least. That's good. Another Draven. Got to keep rolling for that Gragas. And a Zed would be really nice. Draven... Hey, there's the Gragas. Jeweled Gauntlet goes there. Sunfire goes there. So now I have Shred, Anti-Heal, and a well-itemed Gragas. It won't be the tankiest Gragas, but it'll hit pretty hard, which is, you know, kind of what you want your hero augments to do. Up against another Anima Squad player who's hit 7 Anima Squad. You can see those tornadoes from the Anima Squad kind of took out my backline here. But now that we have 4 Cipher, we're actually getting a decent amount of intel per loss, and we're on stage 4. So, Recombobulator, definitely not what I'm looking for here. Reinforcement we could use to get like a Cho'Gath or something, a different AP carry. Getting a nice AP carry would be good, and we'll get the 9 gold also, so Reinforcement's not bad here. Maybe it'll help us find an actual carry. And I can always use it later after the Cipher cash out. That's the thing, you don't have to rush the Reinforcement Slam right now. Could consider the Vex, but I don't really have the items for it right now. That's the big challenge. We're at 6 of those. Kind of rolling to see if we can find that Zed. Unfortunately, we're finding 6 Gallios and 6 Mordekaisers. 7 Mordekaisers now. Okay. Change my mind about what to build. We go with Crown Guard instead, which I like better here. I think that's a better choice. This is that Mundo we saw earlier, but now fully itemized. And again, at least if we lose here, we've got 4 Cipher in. It's stage 4. It's not going to be the worst outcome. Okay. All right, time for our 4-3 cash out. And now that we've been leveling up and getting a little bit more intel, 198's not terrible. But we are trading a lot of health for this. 5-3 costs. We can keep going. A Gallio, that'll put us at 7 Gallios. Could consider the Ziggs, it would give us, you know, more there. We have 8 Gallios here. But the funny thing is, I don't actually want Gallio in my endgame comp. And you're going to laugh because there's this moment coming up here where I see the Gallio 3 and I'm looking at this going, I don't think I actually want this. I don't think we're staying in Cipher. I think we're going to actually pivot out of Cipher, which means I don't need this Gallio 3. And so I actually end up getting a little You know, probably wasting more gold than I should have here, but still worth at least thinking about. Going up against the Boombot player who has that augment. And again, we still haven't used our reinforcement here, so we're mostly just lost streaking to get high amounts of intel. And sure enough, we got a good chunk there. We went from 200 to 240. But yeah, I probably should have just sold the Gallios here, which I didn't. Zed off Carousel would be nice. Could also take the Garen. Probably should just take the Garen, but there's a Zed actually. Wait, I see the Zed. Okay, Zed's huge here. We'll use this to get 2 more rounds of like full lost streak Cipher. Hopefully we lose both of these rounds. Because now that we have 5 Cipher, it'll be big, and we're still on a lost streak. So those numbers are increasing pretty dramatically. We still got the extra bruisers on our bench. We need to find a Cho. Reinforcement for Cho here could give us 6 bruiser pretty quick. There you go, 5 Cipher, max cash outs. You can see here, Misfortune, Zach probably not going to go on this endgame board here. Really trying to find a 4-cost carry that fits the comp, which so far we're not having any luck. We do find a Gragas here. But yeah, kind of stuck right now. But only 2 more rounds here, and we have 47 health. So as long as we just lose 2 more rounds, it wouldn't be the end of the world. Unfortunately, we go up against a player whose board looks very weak. Jinx won, Brand won. So unfortunately, I don't know that we're going to be able to lose this. Which is a shame, because that would have been a lot more Cipher, or a lot more intel. Although, Gragas is kind of getting stuck, maybe? Good ult there. I mean, it's not okay. If we lose this, that'd be perfect. Oh, Edge of Night did work, but Brand ult? Oh, Brand ult! Oh my god, what a perfect loss. What a perfect loss. That shot us up to 322. Okay, that's huge. We just need to lose 1 more here. Get a 7th Gragas. We're at 7 Gragas, 7 Mordekaisers. If we can lose 1 more here, cash out at 4-7. Because 4-7's one of the last cash out spots. And then pivot and hit Gragas 3. That'd be big. And like I said, now we're getting up to like 300 intel, which is not bad. It's not that bad. Now, if you're wondering, the biggest cash outs are like 1,000 intel, but that's like really hard to pull off. Really, really good cash outs are going to be at like 600, 700. But again, those are pretty hard to pull off. Those are when everything lines up for the tuber. The 7 Anima squad here, though, again, those tornadoes we saw last time doing big work here. Whew, kind of toasted my backline a little bit. All right, 382, 21 health. And now it's time to do an old school cash out pivot. All right, so we get a Monazane, a red buff, a Negatron cloak, so an artifact, a full item, a component, and 4 Reforgers. Which isn't bad. We're going to start taking out all the Cipher units. We don't need them. We find an Annie, and with Monazane, I'm looking at this Monazane sort of going, you know what? I might just play Annie. Like, I'm kind of desperate for a carry. LeBlanc can't be my carry much longer. So we finally use our reinforcement now with Annie. We're also going to be playing Bruiser, so at least we'll have 2 Golden Ox, which is not the worst. We found a Gragas, so 1 more Gragas would also be big. 1 more Gragas, 1 more Mordekaiser. We can sell the LeBlanc, because again, we're just getting completely out of Cipher. Just full pivot. We find the Cho'Gath. We get a Nashers for our Annie. Sell that, buy that. So we gotta wait till we level up. There we go, take out the Galio. Now we're at 6 Bruiser, 2 Golden Ox. But we do need to hit the last piece here. I kind of in an awkward red buff right now. I'm gonna reforge it, see if we get anything better. Giant Slayer. Now, realistically, this is where you can all laugh at me, but I definitely should have kept reforging it, not put it on a Darius. But that being said now, we're really close to our 3-star Chug Jug, and this Annie with Monazane is not going to be terrible. She's going to sub in quite a few Tibbers. And you can see those Tibbers combined with all the Bruisers are going to give my Chug Jug enough time for Archangels to stack up. So, looking pretty good here. If we can just hit these last pieces. We're going to buy the Yumis. Okay, there's Chug Jug 3. There's Mordekaiser 3. Level up. Put in a Yumi for 2 amp to power up the Annie even more. And now, well, we've done it. This, and like I said, this is what I really, really like about Cipher, is like, you can play it a bunch of different ways. We played it, got some extra resources. We're now up an artifact, a full item, and a component. And that's okay. And now I've got this 3-star Mordekaiser, this Chug Jug. And yeah, so again, if you're somebody who really likes these high skill pivots, I think this, in that regard, I almost think it's even better than Heartsteel, because if you go back and look at a lot of the old Heartsteel games, people mostly still stuck with like Ezreal and stuff like that. But whereas this trait, I think you can be pretty creative. So who thought when I was at that position I was gonna end up playing an Annie game? Not many people, I'd bet. Now granted, it's because it's early. Now with Golden Ox, by the way, this is a very small optimization, but you'll notice I'm trying to spend, like, next I need to spend 12 gold if I'm going to spend any gold. But last turn I spent 8 gold to make sure I pumped up Golden Ox a little bit. And we're talking at this level with 2 Golden Ox, it's like 1% damage amp, but it's still something. So if you're going to spend gold, try to optimize it around leveling up your tree. So. But yeah, otherwise 6 Bruiser, very strong front line, 2 carries. This is looking good. So now it's time to try to make a comeback. You know, typical Cipher cash out. Up against the 7 Anima squad, and you can see, so Annie casts once, Annie casts twice, Annie summons Tibbers, Annie casts a 4th, and she's already on her 5th cast. Golden Ox makes some gold, and then here's, yep, she's, like I said, gonna be summoning a lot of things here. Another Tibbers, so good stuff. And yeah, Chug Jug, by the way, did most of the damage that fight. All right, so this is a bug, by the way. We're gonna get this fixed, but there's not supposed to be 0 items here. This is a PBE bug. Apparently, it's supposed to be some extra full items, but not fixed yet. Sorry about that. So the team working on the set mechanic is aware. They'll get this fixed, but for now, nobody gets any items. For a minute, I honestly, like, I had to message the person working on the set mechanic. I was like, did we make something that takes items away? Players are not gonna like that. And they're like, no, it's a bug. I'm like, okay, I'm glad. I'm very glad we didn't think players will love an empty carousel. That would have been not great. So I toy with putting in Divinicorp here, and because Gragas was so much more of my damage, putting this in gives me some extra crit, and I think it's actually better than the 2 amp. The 2 amp not doing that much for Annie, so slight upgrade here. And then what I can do is put in Urgot, which will give me 2 Boombots as well as 2 Executioner. And Boombots, the Urgot's always good because you might generate some extra gold or some extra components, even without items. Tibber's in there doing work. Now this fight was looking close, but thankfully Gragas got some big hits here and was able to heal up from them. But you can see the rockets of the Boombot player doing really well here. Boom, big rockets. But thankfully Chug Jug was able to keep me alive. Good stuff. I don't know, 16,000 damage from Chug Jug. Nice. And so now this is me sort of optimizing my turns. I'm considering spending 12 gold just to level up the trait a little bit, because you can only level it up once per turn. So if I spend some now, I could level it up. But I decide not to, it looks like. Who knows what was going through my head at that time. But yeah, overall have put together a nice solid comp here. I also like that even though you take out Cipher, it leaves the egg to show you that you're facing somebody that had a 382 cash out. So you're kind of like, oh, why are they so much stronger than me? Oh, that's why. Okay. And yep, again, Chug Jug doing big damage here. And we're on a win streak. Let's go. Find a Vex 2. Okay. No complaints. And then, like I said, we should spend 12 gold here so that we level up our gold Nox a little. I think this is when I might have been distracted with something work-related, because I'm not pressing buttons. Will he see it? Will he level up one more time? If I don't press level up... There we go. There it is. I was about to say, if I don't press level up one more time, it's a gross misplay here. Bing, ding, bing, bing. We could get an item for Vex. And in fact, honestly, what I should be doing here... Although I put it on Annie, which I kind of like here. I can move the Shiv. I probably should have moved the Giant Slayer off of Darius ages ago. And you can see here I spend exactly 16 gold. I don't level up just to get one more Golden Ox stack on the tree. Oh, nope, never mind. I felt like putting in the Urgot was more important for now. Alright, up against a Nitro T-Hex. It's only 228. 228 is good, but not that good. And considering no 3-star Elise, no 3-star Shyvana, I don't think I'm that worried. Annie does get taken pretty low, though. Annie... Oh, Annie dead, but not before the second Tibbers. But that being said, Chug Jug can still finish it off. Urgot gets an eat, but no item. Darn. An Annie and a Vex. An Urgot. Urgot 2 would be nice. And so same thing here, by the way. If I do a couple rerolls, we can power up the Golden Ox a little bit more. And again, it's just a little bit more damage amp. So, you never know. That 1% can make all the difference. Move Vex over so that the Shiv is near Annie. Not that it matters too much. Go up against the Mundo 3. That is a Samira 2, though. That Samira 2 scares me pretty heavily. Thankfully, we Chug Jug their tank to the back line. Samira doesn't quite hit Annie very much, so that's good for us. And it looks like we got through the rest of their front line. I just have too much value on my front line. Samira kind of missing Annie again there. Kinda got lucky. Third Tibbers. Holy. Nice. And now you can see with 3 Tibbers, all that physical damage that Annie has done on the damage meters, that's all from Tibbers auto attacks, so which scales with AP. So it's pretty nice. Now the thing is, I don't have enough gold to go up another level on my gold Nox, so I'm just waiting a turn before I spend it up. I'm trying to level that up a little bit more. And again, if you're gonna roll anyway, you may as well get that 1% extra damage amp on the Annie. But otherwise, we're looking good. We're full win streak, and now we're in first place. So yeah, Cipher. This is what I'm talking about, though. It's only a matter of time before you hear the high skill people talking about Cipher. I'm telling you. But it's so fun. It's so fun. This fight was not particularly close. Boom. Go. Chug Jug. Chug Jug, Annie, Cipher. Like I said, this was a game I was pretty proud of. This is a fun one. On the carousel. There is a spatula. Do I need a spatula? Not really. Spatula plus belt. I mean, I could reforge it, but... Overall, for now, though, we're just going to take that for Vex. Take a Nashorts for Vex. I probably could have taken a spatula, reforged it, and made another Bruiser emblem, which wouldn't have been bad, because then I could have taken out Mundo. But, you know, wasn't on the list. And so we're rolling a bit again, try to just get enough for a golden ox proc. There it goes, it procced. Realistically, I'm not putting in God of the Net at this point. It's too late to start building up any traits, and even then, the traits I would get would be like Bruiser on Annie, which, eh. All right, up against another Bruiser player, actually, with the Urgot. This was our Boombot player, but now they switched to Urgot 1. So we're kind of contesting each other for units here. And Urgot is very powerful. Those are very good Urgot items. And you can see I'm actually kind of struggling a little bit here. The Cho'Gath is at full health. Luckily, we kill their Urgot first. And so it's actually a little close, but we do end up winning it, which is good. And yeah, look at that Urgot damage on their side. So much Boombot damage with the Augment. Alright, I probably shouldn't have rolled here, because it's going to put me in this awkward situation. Oh, no, I'd get just enough to level up Golden Ox one more time. So we have our Boombot player and our Street Demon player, and yeah, that Hunter killed us. Oh, okay, well, they FF'd, so this might be the last round. I guess they weren't happy about whatever happened. So, some slight item improvements here, put that on Vex, and here we go. This could be the last round. But yeah, there you go. Cipher, like I said, I had fun with it. We just have to make sure we can beat the Samira. So, we'll see. I just love how fast Annie gets that Tibbers going. Urgot with the grabs, Rengar in the back, another Tibbers. And this is not particularly close. Samira is doing some work, but not enough. And there you go, GG. All right, hopefully you enjoyed. That's Cipher, I love it. See you tomorrow. Take it easy.